4 interaction styles. We did the structure types, the one who want to be in charge, who want to create structure, and who generally are in charge of things. You have the starters, such as myself, who like to get the things going. We like to start things, but we have a hard time finishing it. We get distracted easily, and we move on to new topics and new things that are fun or interesting. Then you have the finisher types, who are also into a lot of different things, but once they actually start something, which is hard for them to get involved with in the first place because they know the obligation that comes with it, they won't stop until they finish it. Okay, so that's why they call the finisher types. Very end goal oriented in a way of finishing what they want to do using their process. Okay, the final of the 4 are your background types. These people are the ones who like to be in the shadows. Okay, they're the most shy. All right, they are responding. What does responding mean? Responding means they respond to other people's initiation. They do not like to go out of their way to talk to others and ask them questions. They prefer to be asked themselves. That does not necessarily make them not outgoing, does not necessarily make them insecure. They just prefer to interact in that way. And so many INTPs, for instance, are very secure in their bodies, but they're not going to go out of their way to instruct you. And they're probably the most intelligent type there are. They love to talk a lot, but they're going to respond to that kind of thing. These types like to be in the know of what's going on in their community, their friends and family around them. They want to be informed by others. They're not going to go out of their way to find out this information. And so if they feel they're being left out of the loop, they can get offended because you did not tell them what was going on. All right, that's all responding types are. They need a lot of alone time to recharge their energy and sometimes can get drained really quickly being around big crowds of people. Now, that does not mean that they cannot be entertainers. Michael Jackson and Prince are both ISFPs. That is background control. They're both very shy, reserved people, but then they get on stage and they're like, ah, and, most musicians, for that matter, are ISFPs who are background control, like to just spend their time in the studio hanging out. Okay? Probably the most common type of Jehovah's Witnesses are actually this temperament, in my opinion, because Kingdom Hall is a great place to hide in some ways, and you can get shoved into doing things you don't really want to do, but it is very ISFJ centrist religion. And so you have a relaxing traditional standpoint. Most of these types are SI users, and so they like to keep tradition going in a way anyways. Okay, so responding, they're also informative. They're like me. See how I just went on this little tangent about different stories? Okay, and so these types can respond in a story, but because they're responding, they're not like me. They're not going to initiate new topics. They're going to stay on topic, but it might be a long-winded on topic. ISFJs, for instance, are triple informative, so they talk a lot. I mentioned the View before. The View is very ISFJ, ESFJ focused. You have a bunch of women sitting in a circle going bak, 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 talking and talking and talking. Very informative. None of them are direct. Okay, it's all about cryptic. What is this? What is that? What is this? Let's just have a conversation in a circle. We're not really going anywhere. That does not matter. Okay, and so they're informative, so they can tell you things in a very storytell, cryptic way. I mentioned the frustration between possibly an ESTP husband with their ISFJ wife, and he's trying to figure out what's wrong with the situation, and she just wants to talk about it, and she doesn't really want to directly tell him what's wrong. Okay, this could be frustrating. However, it's human behavior. Okay, these people are control, so they're outcome focused. They're also to be less movement oriented in their bodies, such as myself. So movement types typically are going to move around. You're going to see them in their chairs, shaking their feet, tripping. A good example of a very healthy background control type is Keanu Reeves, who is an INFP. Very stoic, informative, and control. So he has an outcome in mind of what he wants to accomplish when someone asks him a question. Okay, and so typically speaking, because they're control, they're going to pause first. They may not answer as quickly as I would, for instance, who many times speaks without thinking. No problem, that's my starter type, blah blah blah. We can fix it later. Let's just rubber stamp this conversation style, and let's keep this ball rolling. They're controlled. They're not like that. And so they're going to be like, hey, what are your thoughts on pepperoni pizza? Well, I like pepperoni pizza, but this one time when I was eating as a young girl, I got heartburn from pepperoni pizza, so I'm not so sure how much I like about pepperoni pizza. And I may try it, I may not try it, I don't know. What do you think about that? That's a typical response of this interaction style where she thought about it first, thought about a story, and responded with this long message response, okay, about what happened as a little girl, how she got heartburn, and when she could easily just directly answer the question, no, I don't like pepperoni pizza because I got heartburn. You know, that's the difference. That's the big difference between direct and informative. And so I'll work more on this too with other videos and things like that. So I just wanted to give you a nice quick rundown. So background, these are your shadow types. They want to be in the background. They want to be like the secretary, administrators. They don't want to be in the forefront, typically speaking, unless they're, have no choice, like an ISFP performance. You know, they're going to be responding. So they want you to tell them information about what's going on. They don't want to have to find out on their own. It's very uncomfortable for them. They're controlled, so they're outcome focused. Okay, their body's going to be more stoic, more statue-like, more in control. Can't stand chaos, get angry in chaos, kids running around the house, freak out mom, you know, let's keep this thing in order. They're informative, so they're going to be long-winded, cryptic, indirect, may tell stories to answer a question instead of just directly telling you yes or no. They'll tell you with a story, for instance. That's how these people interact with each other. You know, I like all 16 types, all four interaction styles. They all have their little quirks. It's fun and irritating, and so it's fun to learn about people.